Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. Welcome to my review for The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, which was released in 2003, and everybody returned, as we know. So as you know, if you've been following the channel, I have reviewed both The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and The Two Towers, as I have been revisiting the Lord of the Rings franchise after its 20th anniversary. And it's a franchise that means an awful lot to me, as it does many people I know. As I've mentioned in my previous reviews, these were the first films, really, that I went to the cinema with Lisa, who is now my wife. We made it a tradition at Christmas to go and see these movies. So we, after getting the box set for Christmas, the extended editions on Blu-ray, I wanted to revisit the films around Christmas time on its 20th anniversary. And I have to say, thoroughly enjoyed revisiting these films. Obviously, I've watched them a few times over the years, but it felt kind of special to revisit them on the 20th anniversary, especially on the newly released extended editions on Blu-ray. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, I gave both The Fellowship of the Ring and The Two Towers a 10 out of 10. How could I not, really? They are perfect films. They're exceptional films. Everybody kind of has their favourites, but to me, all these three films are all part of the same film to me. They're all part of the same story. They are seamless, and that shows because they were filmed that way. As we all know now, it is part of legend that all the cast and crew went out to New Zealand, and they spent years, really, developing and filming these films to get them on screen as perfectly as possible. And that's why they do feel seamless. Sometimes when they go make a movie, they'll go away for 2 or 3 years, come back and make, the second part or something along them lines. They didn't do that here. They knew what they wanted to make. They were funded to do it. They went out to New Zealand, did everything they needed to do, filmed everything. And barring a couple of extra shots that they filmed here and there, it all was seamless. So that's to me why they all feel, intricately connected to each other as a film. So they all feel like one big film to me. So I think sometimes I certainly, with this franchise, struggle to say, well, this film's better than that film for this reason or that reason. I just think they're all a continuing part of the story. And The Return of the King, for me, is another absolutely brilliant addition to the other two films. It's a fantastic conclusion. I know some people laugh and joke in regards to it's the film that never knows how to end. I remember being at the cinema watching it for the first time, and after Frodo throws the ring into Mount Doom, you think, 5 minutes and we're done. But I think it felt like at least another half an hour, even longer on the extended edition before the film is actually finished, which I just love. You know what I mean? It doesn't want to say goodbye, and I really love that. It was just the perfect way to end the franchise, really. It was just brilliant. I mean, I struggle to give you any faults here. Again, it's exciting, it's thrilling. Everybody here is absolutely on point. There's no real major additions to the cast here, other than the steward that we saw at Gondor. And we see a little bit more of Faramir, I suppose, than we did in the second one. But there's no real major additions here in regards to the cast. It's just everybody doing what they're doing. And we get some incredible battle scenes again. I mean, I did comment on the Two Towers review that I think the battle at Helm's Deep is arguably the greatest fantasy battle ever put to screen. Well, I think coming in at a close second is the battle here. In Return of the King, and we get several really, but I mean primarily, the one outside Gondor, and then Aragorn joins in with the army of the dead, and Rohan joins in, and all this kind of stuff, and it's an epic battle. It really is. And interestingly, while prepping for this review, I was reading up on a bit of trivia and stuff like that. Apparently, Peter Jackson was not keen on including the Army of the Dead into the film. He felt it was too unbelievable, but he didn't want to disappoint the die-hard fans of The Lord of the Rings. So that's why he still included them in the film. And I did genuinely understand that, because every time I see like the Army of the Dead in the film, you kind of think, that's kind of giving them a bit of an unfair advantage. And it does seem, a little bit convenient, you know what I mean, that they're parked just outside this mountain that's got this built-in army if just the king would go in and have a chat with them. So it always didn't particularly sit brilliantly with me, but it's still a huge part of the film, the Army of the Dead, and they certainly couldn't have defeated them without the Army of the Dead's involvement. So, I mean, I just love Return of the King. It's brilliant, really, in every way. You could see the weight of the ring that Frodo is having to bear, all the Shelob scenes with the spider. I mean, I'm not keen on spiders anyway, but any arachnophobics watching it would really, really struggle, because it is really, really intense. So fantastic stuff. I mean, what can you say? They rounded off the franchise brilliantly, and we all know the story in regards to the Oscars that it won. 11 nominations, 11 wins, incredible, clean sweep, and it deserved it. And it was the Academy not just recognising this film, but recognising the whole franchise as to how fantastic they all were and what they offered to this art form that we call movie making. Flawless films in every single way. And I was watching the extras as well afterwards, and watching them do the world tour afterwards, in regards to the premieres. It was so good. It was so wonderful to see him get the recognition that they deserved. I truly, truly enjoyed watching some of the extras here for this one. I mean, I enjoy watching extras anyway, but there's some really great extras here in regards to, the recognition and the respect that they got at the end of making these brilliant, brilliant films. So, another film, another piece of perfection, in my opinion. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10, as I did the others. And for me, it's essentially, I'm giving all of them 10 out of 10, because for me, like I've said, they're all the same film, which is why I've done that, really. Arguably the greatest trilogy of films ever made, and I have done a video, as I've mentioned before, on my favourite trilogies, and stupidly I think I put this at number 2. I'd have to revisit that. I'd probably put it at number 1 now, because I think I put the Dark Knight trilogy at my number 1, and as much as I adore that trilogy, they aren't 3 perfect films, whereas these 3 are perfect films, so I would probably flip that now, which goes to show, really, when you do any kind of list, your thoughts and opinions can change going forward, as mine has here. So I hope you've enjoyed me revisiting the Lord of the Rings franchise. I have picked up The Hobbit now on Blu-ray, the 3 films on Blu-ray, so I'm hoping to revisit those films, and I will get similar reviews up as soon as possible. So thank you very much for watching, everybody.